Thanks for listening. This podcast is proudly brought to you by OG Haulage. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a mate.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Don't do that.
We're drinks each. My whistle is wet. Welcome to Get Outdoors with Drew and Cam. It is blisteringly warm.
It is as muggy as muggy. Yes.
Welcome to the podcast that aims to get you outdoors and off the couch.
That is it.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm really enjoying being back in civilization.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but I reckon you keep looking out the window to see what's going on outside.
I always do. Just like ticking along.
You, ticking along. Someone was talking to me during the week about ticking along.
Yep.
And they're like, I mentioned it, we're at basketball.
Yeah.
And old mate says to me, how you going? I said, yeah, ticking along. He goes, yeah, Cam keeps saying that on the potty. I'm like, yeah, he does.
Yep.
So, how's your week? You're back from your hike, my friend.
I'm back a day and an hour or so of rest, and then back on shift. So
you were back on shift for the week, yep.
But I tell you what, even though it was such a grueling hike that we did, I was feeling insanely good by the end of it.
You haven't really spoken a lot about it on the potty, so
no.
For the person listening, you hiked from...
We left Wingan Inlet, or
which
the
is
Wingan
where?
River. So it's south of Mallacoota by, in a straight line, I couldn't tell you, but we ended up doing 63 kilometres to hike into Mallacoota over 3 days.
From Wingnam?
Wingan Inlet.
Wingan
River
to
Mallacoota.
To
we
Mallacoota.
walked into the boat ramp at
How was the
Mallacoota.
fishing?
The brim we caught were fantastic. Geez, they hit hard.
Awesome.
I've always picked on brim fishermen, but they hit pretty hard. So
Now, we were talking earlier about this and your walk.
yes.
And there was something that really, really stuck out that I think we could talk about on our potty.
Yes.
For anyone really getting outdoors, exerting energy or whatever,
Yeah.
what was the biggest
My biggest
lesson?
My
Let's say
biggest
lesson.
hang up and my lesson.
Yep.
Well, I enjoyed my lesson, but I didn't enjoy learning it.
Oh, no.
So I was drinking water pretty hard the days leading up to this.
Yes.
My biggest letdown, a few cheeky beers in the car on the way up there
Right.
at night.
Yep.
We got to camp at midnight. We were up before 6.
Yep.
So crappy night's sleep, alcohol beforehand.
Yep.
I had 9 litres of water roughly in my pack.
You carried
Carried
the
9
litres.
litres.
Yep. How long did you account that 9 litres was going to last you?
I was allowing that 9 litres to get me through day 1 and day 2.
Okay. What was your distance you were travelling day 1, day 2?
So we were aiming for around the 20 kilometres a day mark.
Okay.
But this, mind you, this is not a walking along a lovely walking track style hike. This was bashing through scrub, climbing dunes.
So you're walking sand as well?
Mate, we walk stretches of beach.
Yep.
So it's being released bit by bit by my mate on his YouTube channel that I did the backpack hunt with.
Which
Where
one
to
was that?
next?
Where to next?
On YouTube.
Oh, that's it, with Ryan?
With Ryan. So we'll get him back in for another convo on this too. So I won't go into too much detail.
I think in upcoming, we'll try and get him in and
So
break it down.
yeah, the aim was to do over 20 kilometres a day. Our hardest day was actually, for me, was day 1.
What's the hike
So-
all up?
The hike all up was 63 kilometres.
Oh, it is 60K.
Yeah,
Okay.
63 kilometres over
Yep.
3 days. So day 1, start off on the big granite boulders after crossing the inlet itself.
Before you go too far,
Yeah.
so for 3 days, you were carrying your pack. As
Yep.
we've shown on socials, you had your pack,
Yep.
food, water, clothing, sleeping.
Clothing was minimal.
Yeah, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, it
Change
got
your
to the
jocks and
point-
socks and off you go.
It got to the point that I was actually taking stuff out of the bag that they came in
Yep.
to try and cut 80 grams or 60 grams out of my pack. I was trying to minimise
It's like
this.
trying to build a drag car, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You're just trying to
Let's pull a kilo out of this corner.
shed as much weight as you can, and then you dump in 9 litres of water,
So
which is 9 kilos.
You were set up, packed, carrying everything you needed for the 3 days, hypothetically.
23 and a bit kilos.
So an extra 23 kegs on you.
Yes.
Okay.
On undulating terrain.
What was your temperatures?
Our temperatures were around that 25 degrees. And now in the morning it was great because you had the coastal breeze hit you. You were walking in overcast skies as
Yep.
well, so you weren't really getting smashed by the sun.
Yep.
Yeah, that changed around lunchtime. All the cloud cover had burned off. We were just exposed.
Yep.
Walking on rocks that are reflecting up the heat.
Yeah.
Walking on sand that's reflecting up the heat.
And that's hard as
It
too.
was hard going. Like, we were lucky because we planned it to cross the inlet, thinking that was going to be our biggest challenge of the day.
Right.
We were planning to cross that at the lowest point of tide,
Yep.
and then we'd have low tide to continue along the pack sand down near the waterline
Yeah.
to get along the main stretches of the big sandy beaches that we had to do day one.
That would have been a fantastic view.
Oh, mate, it was amazing. It was amazing.
So, what actually happened with your hydration, dude?
So I came up dramatically short with my estimations for my water consumption.
Yep.
So day one, I'd consumed more than 7 litres of water. Didn't need to have a wee either.
That's a
So that was an
issue.
alarm bell.
Yep. Were you sweating it out?
I was sweating out quite a lot. If I'd stopped sweating, I would have pulled up stumps.
You're on heat stroke.
That's going to hospital side of things. So I was still working on the water theory of just sips little and often.
Yep.
I was also running hydrolyte tablets.
You were?
So those hydrolyte tablets, you're mixing 2 to 200 mils of water.
Yep.
I reckon I was having at least one of those an hour.
Okay. Which
Plus-
has got all your salts and aminos and
Yeah, plus
all
the
good
amount
stuff
of
on
water
top
that you were drinking too.
Yes.
But the big concern for me was in the afternoon when I experienced a bit of kidney pain.
Ouch.
And I was starting to panic a little bit with that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yep.
I've never had kidney pain while hiking. I've pushed myself quite a bit sometimes and I haven't had that.
Yeah.
So I was a bit panicky there, thinking with all the electrolytes I've had and I haven't had to have a wee, I'm not passing anything out of my kidneys.
Yep.
Is there something going on? But yeah, it was just overexertion.
Yep.
So yeah, we went through most of our water. We were just lucky enough that we came across some of the little springs that were just trickling out of the rocks.
Okay.
So that was another thing, was I took my water filtration
Yeah.
just on the chance that we might have needed it.
What are you using for a water filtration?
So I use the Platypus Quick Draw. It's a hollow core fibre filter, micron filter.
Yep.
So I've got to have a look up if it's the protozoa. Pretty sure it's the protozoa it takes out.
Yep.
No, it's the bacteria because protozoa is smaller, I
Yes.
thought. So yeah, it stops bacteria. It can't stop the protozoa. So it's quite well treating. Mm-hmm. But then we still also put water treatment tablets into that after we filtered it.
Yep.
Just to be 100%.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
already feeling quite...
Yeah, you don't want to go backwards.
Yeah, I was already feeling it and I didn't want to go that far the other way that it was going to be impossible to catch up.
I was going to say the negativity of getting bad water when you're already dehydrated
Yeah.
or your body's
Yep.
trying to keep up with it, everything's amplified.
Hugely.
On top of that.
Yeah. And that's the worst thing is a lot of people don't realise you get sick from drinking dirty water. And when you get hit by the dirty water,
Yep.
I'm trying to make this clean, when it's coming out both ends and you're looking like a fountain,
Yes.
that's me being a bit more graphic. The first instinct is to go, I've got to drink more water. And you're still drinking that dirty water that's making you sick.
Correct.
So you're just dehydrating yourself further
Yep.
and further and further.
Yep. Talking about drinking water.
That's it. Yeah, well, you drink your water. I'll have...
If you hear noise, listeners, please forgive me. It's warm and we're sculling water. So
He is. So, yeah, look, we managed to find a spring. We pulled up probably 800 metres shy of our original goal for day one.
yep.
Just because of fatigue, I was cooked. We found this beautiful little cove tucked right in.
You
We
didn't
just-
see fish dancing on the beach
Oh,
or
far from. Mate, I was concerned, and I'd voiced my concerns. Like, I felt like I was being a bit of a sook by saying it out loud, but I'm cooked. For me, I'm stumbling.
Yep.
And when you're on
game
big,
over.
sharp rocks,
Yep. Nah.
you don't... Stumbling is a big thing. So,
oh,
look...
and it's downhill from there.
Yeah, well, it is very
100%,
quickly if you stumble on those rocks
Yeah,
with 23
but-
kilos on your back.
Even mentally, you get to the point where you're no good.
Yep.
You don't have to try and be a man about it.
That's right.
You're actually in survival mode at that point.
Yeah, so we pulled up stumps, like I said, about 800 metres shy.
Were you near the water?
We were right on the beach.
Did you jump in?
No, I didn't, mate. I put my tent up. I emptied my stuff out of it that I needed for a change of clothes.
Okay.
And I went and laid in my tent, in my boxes only, and went to sleep. And I
Were
woke
you,
up.
Were you quite cool?
I was still warm, but I was still sweating. So I wasn't concerned, like I said.
Yeah.
Because you stop sweating, that's when you're in trouble.
Because it helps too to drop your body temp a little.
Yeah.
And that, in turn, makes your body retain the water that you've got by bringing your core temp down a little.
Yeah. Look, I was trying to stay out of the salt water because salt water and sand on that sort of a hike equals a hell of a lot of chafing. And
no skin left.
look, I'm really happy I managed to get through with minimal chafing.
Yes.
That's another topic we might discuss.
No.
Because, look, it is something that you've got to be realistic about.
If you're going a fair bit of hiking, absolutely.
And you've got to look at maintaining and being cautious with it all.
You could almost take Nadine's advice and slather yourself up in the right spots with a bit of Vaseline.
Yeah, but see, Vaseline's a petroleum-based thing. It does create heat, and it does allow for friction. That's correct.
You imagine someone walking along the beach and,
Well-
spontaneous combustion. What happened? He had Vaseline on his thighs.
Well, one of my mates, his shorts looked like they were bike shorts, but only in the middle because they were that heavily covered in Vaseline by the end of day one.
Yeah, right.
So, look, the water, like I said, we found the spring. I managed to filter another 2 litres of water.
Yep.
So I had possibly 3 litres to get me through day 2.
Okay.
Now, day 2, I'd already said I've got to there's a little overland track that does run over the top of the big point.
Yep.
And bring you down to our next place, which was Seal Creek. Mm-hmm. So our aim was to get there, minimal water use.
Yeah.
Easy day for me because I was cooked. We managed to hit that track and find it quite easily.
Yep.
But the 3 of us that went and did that, we actually found a supply bag that comes out of a lifeboat.
Yeah, right.
So this is where we had our biggest win, if you ask me, because we found emergency water bags. And we found ample emergency water bags.
Like how many?
Oh, I think I carried 5 or 6 of them.
And what are they, a litre a bag?
They're 500 mils per bag.
Half a litre, okay.
But they're in 100 mil sachets.
Oh.
So, because apparently one of the guys that I was with, he said, if you go into the life raft overboard, you're allocated 100 mil for the 24-hour period. And that's it. So,
Well, I suppose it's just to keep you alive.
That's life and death, so yeah. So, yeah, we ended up finding them, and we were looking at them. They looked a bit manky, the outside of the bags. Everything inside them was still clean. It was all sealed.
Right.
So, into it, and I just started ripping one apart and drinking it.
That kind of begs the question. Why is there an unopened bag from a life raft floating up on a beach?
Apparently, there was a life raft that had come adrift off a vessel.
Oh, okay.
And I think some of the ab divers went and actually got the lifeboat out of the inlet, out of the river.
Yep.
So they went and got that, but that was stashed in the trees at the start of the walking track that we found.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's when we went with our little water bags.
Yep.
We ended up hiking up and over.
Yep.
Up through the heathland, bit of a climb, but just exposed heathland as well. So you're still exposed to that sun throughout the day.
But you just had water stashed.
Yeah.
End of day 2?
End of day 2, but this is also another fun one. So we got to our second day destination where we were meeting the other group that was still going to push around on the rocks for day 2. So we got in there at 1:30 in the afternoon. They didn't get there till 4:30 in the afternoon. They'd found water on day 2 as well. And I think my mate said he drank 10 litres day 2 and he hadn't been weeing either.
Wow.
So, look, it was a bit of a concern. So we got to our water drop.
That's quite a concern, to be really honest.
We got to our water drop that was supposed to be almost 2 1.5 litre bottles of water per person.
Yeah.
To find 3 of them had disappeared from the water stash.
Oh.
So we had some people that were down to 800 mil of water, fresh water left. So we had some electrolytes. We had a cruisy day there on the beach.
Yep.
I went and had a bit of a fish. Nothing caught, but yeah, the whole thing was just preservation of water.
Yeah, 100%.
And I still felt dehydrated the end of day 2. Mm-hmm. But I sat down, I drank more electrolytes. I just had an easy day relaxing on the beach. I sort of caught up and recharged by that.
And just let your body soak it up.
Yeah, and just gave it time.
Yep.
Just trying to get out of the sun as well. That was a challenge on the beach. Hey, look at that. It's raining again while we're recording.
It's it's that ambience
That
we keep
ambience.
getting doing an outdoors podcast.
Yeah. So, yeah, some of our water had disappeared. We worked out 3 bottles had disappeared. Funnily enough, the bottle of rum didn't get touched, though. Yeah, and Ryan carried a bottle with him. He had
Yeah.
1 sip out of it and continued to carry a litre bottle of rum.
Gosh.
And then had to carry a second one. But, yeah, so water
That's
became...
disappointing, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
we were that cooked. So,
You didn't touch it. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't even contemplate having a sip.
Yep.
So we ended up day 3, everybody decided that they were heading inland and taking the track just because we needed to do... We were camped day 2 at the halfway mark to Mallacoota.
Yep.
So we needed to do what we'd done in the previous 2 days in 1 day to get us to Mallacoota.
Yep.
So we all went in. We were lucky enough to meet up with one of the bloke's parents, and they came in with 20 litres of water to help us out that way.
Yeah.
And a ham and salad focaccia that was worth, I'd said it was worth probably $100 to be honest, by that point. But yeah, they came in. I shed some weight out of my bag because I had to be back on shift within a day and a half or whatever it was from finishing up.
Yeah.
So I was trying to preserve myself and try and get my hydration back up.
Yep.
So I ditched most of my weight out of my pack, so virtually carrying a water bladder and my first aid kit
Yep.
and a locator beacon for the last, I think it was 8.5 Ks from there
Yeah, righto.
to Mallacoota. So
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, we definitely underestimated the amount of water. And those hydrolyte tablets as well, well, I was mentioning those earlier. Now those, I think it says on the packet you can take like 20 of them a day
Yeah.
when you're doing hard work. We were pushing through fire regrowth scrub.
Yep.
You could hardly see a person 2 metres from you.
Yeah.
And that was very physical. But yeah, I underestimated how much water I was going to use and how little food I was actually going to eat on this trip.
Okay.
So,
Did you look up at all what the recommendation water-wise intake is
well, I've had a look at some of it, and I mean,
since you got back? Yeah.
since I got back, I went and stood in the kitchen and just turned the tap on and watched the water run out of it, and go, I don't feel like I need to count those mils this time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they recommend it's about 1.5 litres to 1 litre of water per hour when you're out hiking.
So
like
1 to 1.5 litres per hour per person.
Yep. When you're going through that, but that's also with
When you're exerting
pre-hydration.
yourself, or
That's just hike. That's to say, just doing a hike.
so on an
So-
average temperature day.
Yep.
On
But
a hike.
like I said, the electrolytes are a big thing that play into that as well, because you need to be putting those salts in, especially if you're sweating.
So would you look into getting like Gatorade or Powerade powder and making up a drink of that?
I'll
Or would you stick with hydrolyte tablets?
stick with the hydrolyte tablets,
Right.
only on the basic theory that a lot of people run. If it tastes bad, it's got to be good for you, because I'm not a fan of the way the hydrolyte tablets taste, unfortunately.
Hey, poo tastes bad as well. There's nothing good about that.
No, there isn't. But,
No.
you know, it's...
I do wonder if there's anything else out on the market that would be better than hydrolyte.
Well,
If anyone's a hiker, maybe we should ask Nadine.
yeah, we'll find out what Nadine does. Having her background as well would probably help. So yeah, look, I was running one of those, which is the 2 tablets, 200 mils of water. I was smacking one of those at least an hour, I
Yep.
think. Day 1, I think we ended up hiking for 13 hours. We were on the go.
Yep.
So it was a big day. I think our worst section was 4 kilometres distance that we had to cover, and that took us 7 hours,
Ouch.
to give you an understanding of how hard going it was.
What was the giveaway for you that you were getting cooked or you were cooked? What was... and I'm asking that so you can explain it to our listeners, that they can go, oh, Stink, if I go on a hike and I feel this, I may have an issue.
So one of the big things I noticed was I started to really have a big lapse in concentration.
Like now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, that's just me tripping over my own tongue. It's the lapse in concentration.
Yep.
And when you're walking on rocks and you're having to look where you're placing your feet all day, it is mentally taxing on you as well.
Yes.
So you were cooked mentally.
Yep.
And Look, I was wearing a long sleeve shirt with a hood that's an air mesh shirt that I bought for hunting in normal
was
weather.
air mesh, was
Yeah.
it? Okay.
So my biggest issue was that was sweat logged, and I couldn't get a good breeze out, so I couldn't dry off that well. So
Okay.
I was sort of smothering myself in that regard. I've got to stop trying to say that. Lapse
Lack
in
of
concentration.
Concentration, yes.
I was feeling dehydrated, the headache.
You got headache.
I got a headache.
You weren't sweating.
No, I was still sweating.
Sorry, you were still
That's-
sweating,
Yeah,
but you weren't weeing.
I was. Yeah, weren't weighing. So all those three things
Yeah.
was starting to ring alarm bells for me.
Yes.
Then the kidney pain kicked in, and that really rang an alarm bell for me. I was genuinely concerned.
Yes.
That's why I virtually got there, drank water, and went straight to bed once I could set my tent up.
So your body could actually shut itself
Shut down and rest- try and rest.
and rehydrate. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd made up an electrolytes before I went to bed, and that was with me. And I had that down in another hour. I woke up, had the electrolytes, and went back to sleep.
Did you feel a dry mouth?
I did feel a dry mouth in the morning,
Right.
but in the morning I decided, bugger it, I need to put fuel in because I'd hardly
Yes.
eaten a thing.
Yep.
So I woke up and cooked an on-track bag bowl
Yep.
and pasta in seawater
Yeah.
to just boil it up and drain it off, and
In
then
the bag.
put the pasta into my bag of the on-track bolognese,
Right.
and that just gave me a big kick. Like,
Did
it
you
was
use
a
the
big kick.
flameless heater bags?
No, I just used my little fire maple 600ml pot that I bought,
Yes.
so that worked quite well.
And
Like
you
I
cooked
said,
spaghetti in seawater.
yes, because they always say that you need to salt your water for cooking pasta.
Of course.
And it's supposed
Yeah.
to be like the consistency of seawater. Well, guess
That's
what?
awesome.
I had plenty of that to go with.
Yeah.
So-
no one would miss that.
Yeah. So,
Flipper wouldn't mind.
look, it was delicious. But, yeah, so day 2, I think I had that for breakfast, and then I had a milkshake when we got to Seal Creek.
So you realistically, you putting hydrolyte in is your aminos and salts.
Salts,
right?
yeah, replacing.
But what have you put in for carbs, sugar, glucose, things like that?
So day 1, I'd
Which
had
would
a
add
porridge.
to it as well.
Day 1, I'd had a porridge, with
Yep.
and I was putting in condensed milk. Now, that gives you that spike. That's that sugars. That's that quick hit of energy
Yep.
that depletes.
Yes.
So I won't drink my coffee without a milk in it. So I was even putting condensed milk into my dog and gun.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, that gives it one hell of a kick.
Oh, it would. Absolutely.
So I'd had a porridge and a cup of coffee at about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
That was it for me for food, other than a protein bar at about lunchtime.
Okay.
So the food, I probably could have tried to eat something. I just
Something
did
to
not feel hungry.
sustain you.
Yeah,
Yes. But you've also filled your stomach with water. Sorry about the rain, listeners.
that'll be all right. It'll be a beautiful sound.
Yeah, you've also filled your stomach with water, so it processes that plus what's in your tummy. You
Yeah.
end up processing that twice as fast.
Yep.
So,
So look, mate,
these are all lessons, as we stated
it
at the
is.
start.
I can admit it was a stuff up on my part, and it's something that I'm still learning from.
100%, man. And there was
So-
nothing fatal about the learning you had.
No, and look, if I'd stopped sweating, I would have been concerned.
Yes.
Now,
But you also had
saying-
people to back you up too. If there was something majorly an issue,
mate, if there was a major issue, I would have dumped every bit of food out and carried my base 6 kilo weight
yes,
and my water and got myself to where I could get picked up.
get out. Yep.
But at the same time too, with the part of coastline that we were walking, as remote as it is, there was abalone divers going past us
Regularly?
every hour. You'd see
Okay.
3 or 4 different boats. So we could have gotten a, hey, come get him,
Yep.
and got my stuff out to a boat.
Yep.
So
No. But this also applies to anyone else going in the outdoors on a hot day, hiking,
even on a mild day,
mild day.
you get
yes.
that sun come out and
Yep.
has the bite that it's been having over February.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is all something to think about. I mean, our next episode, we've got a young lady named Carly who does a lot of extreme mountain biking.
Yep.
I think this is something we need to ask her. What does she do for hydration side of things?
Yep.
'Cause, yeah, she's mountain biked down some huge stuff. Mountain biking, skiing.
Yeah, skiing.
Hiking.
See, that's a different thing too. Like, I've done hikes in the snow
Yes.
and had to push my way through the snow, and you'd go, oh, it's not that hot, you'll be right. You shouldn't consume a lot of water. Mate, I drank tons.
I remember walking around flipping Queensland theme park.
Yep.
And I was dragging my feet. I was that dehydrated. And I'm sucking down 500ml bottles like it's nothing.
That cost you probably $16.
And they're about $16 a bottle.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'll just go to the toilet and refill it.
It's funny, though. It's the water. If you look at water, it is all about location to price.
Correct.
That's the weirdest thing about
There's
it.
your captive audience.
Yeah.
Here
Yep.
you are walking down the beach and you find free water.
That's right. I'll post one of the bags, the photo of the bag that I managed to keep one to bring home for a souvenir to remind me to take more water next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I'd lighten off my food and I'd lighten off the electronics that I carried. But other than that, I reckon the stuff I had was dialed in.
Yep.
I'd probably look at trying to change, at least ditch my long sleeve shirt when I could and go to another t-shirt to try and allow it to dry.
Okay.
Because that was another thing. You're putting on wet, damp clothing every day. I wore the same shirt and pants for 3 days straight.
Yep.
I smelt terrific. So,
Surprised you didn't wake up with all the animals sniffing around you.
well, we did have a dingo come up into camp
Ooh.
on night 2.
Nice.
Mate, there was deer marks everywhere on the beach. There was dingo marks everywhere on
I'm
the
looking
beach.
forward to Ryan getting back on the show and we can talk more
Oh,
about
mate,
this. I
you
think
should
it'd
have seen
be
the cast
fantastic.
antlers we found
you
on
bring
the
'em home?
beach. I carried my little dinker that I found. I'm skilled at finding little dinkers.
Yeah.
We're talking it might have been like 5 or 6 inches long.
Yeah.
And then, a mate's sister managed to find 2 monstrous casties in the high 20s, heavy cast antlers.
Yep.
And she's like, well, I'll just throw this back on the ground. I'm like, you realise, to me, that's like the holy grail
Yeah,
of
man.
cast antlers. But yeah, so we ended up carrying them out. But yeah,
Right.
extra 2 kilos in each pack with the big antler on them.
Fantastic.
Oh.
So was there any, like, funny stories or anything like that happened on your trip?
There was little ones, mate, but I believe we've got one sent in from one of our listeners anyway.
We do.
So
We do.
We'll run with that.
Nemo liked our last one and he thought he'd share
Ooh.
one with us.
Oh, Nemo, we're gonna have a go. If it's not up to par like it was on that last one,
Well,
the way it was written and worded,
I know. We should get Adrian to write us more stories.
we should.
Like a Dear Dolly section.
Yeah.
So, trip away for a weekend with a mixed bunch. Some of us friends for years, some of us were meeting for the first time. There was a fella named Hank that some knew and some didn't, but he seemed to be a good bloke. Saturday Arvo, drinks were flowing, in moderation and responsibly, of course, when the statements of, we were going to cook a roast, came from one of the boys. Ash, who aimed that at Darren, they had a brief discussion about it, being a bit late now as they had plans for an early rise the next morning for hope of chasing a deer. Well, Hank heard the conversation they were having and probably offered his input as how the roast should be cooked in the coals. Noticing that Hank had quite a few drinks by this stage, the plan was set in motion to prank Hank. Ash and Darren agreed that Hank could oversee the cooking of the roast, and they followed his instructions, although Hank was not allowed to touch the meat. Ash and Darren were in control of meat prep. This was very important as the roast turned into a rock, with a lamb chop sat on top of it, wrapped in foil. Hank was tasked to dig the hole. Darren gently placed the roast on top of the coals. More coals were on top, and the dirt covered for the final stage. The prank was in motion.
They're sort of doing like a honey or whatever it is.
Yeah, but
Yep.
with a rock
With a
and a lamb chop on top. Word quickly made its way around the camp, and it didn't take long for Hank to be the only one who didn't know there was a rock being cooked with a lamb on top. As time passed, it got later. Ash and Darren postponed their early rise, as this was not to be missed. The comments, one-liners like, "Gee, Hank, this roast better not be as hard as a rock, or it'll be no good if it's stone cold," were made with regularity and laughter from everyone except for Hank. Hank's reply was always, "Nah, it'll be perfect. I know what I'm doing." It's always the answer.
Whoops.
Bear in mind, liquid courage was still flowing. Well, after a few hours, Hank decided it was time to present the roast. She was done. The hole was uncovered, the roast removed, And as Hank unwrapped the foil, the lamb chop on top fell off the rock, and he promptly exclaimed with a sense of proudness, "Oh, the meat's falling off the bone." The onlookers watched with laughter. That proudness from Hank soon turned to confusion with the statement, "Hang on, what's going on here?" Followed by, "Oh, I've been got," as the rock was uncovered.
I was going to say that would be one hot rock too.
The laughter erupted by all, even Hank. Thankfully, he saw the funny side of it. Well, he had the hot rock, so... Some were a little unsure how he'd take it and wondered if the rock would take flight. It didn't, and he was good sport in the end.
What did you eat for dinner?
They reckon that lamb was a cracker.
Oh, thank you for sending that one in. We need a few more listener stories coming in too. If you've
I
got
enjoyed
some.
that. I think it was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Well, Cam, I reckon now we've come to an end of our episode.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, another one done and dusted.
Another one done and dusted.
We've almost been doing this for a year.
Yes.
We're not far off.
We've got a really cool episode coming up for our 50th, I reckon.
Yeah, I've got something up my sleeve.
We have.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Don't forget the Jarvis Walker Rod Challenge.
That's no longer $27, I've been informed.
I actually found out it was $30 now.
Oh, jeez.
Quite upset about
Inflation.
that. Inflation.
Yep.
Don't forget the Silverside Biltong. Just get out 15 for all 15% off online purchases. And what's the most important thing, Cam?
Checking in on your mates.
Check on your mates.
We always say it, and it's a handy thing to do. So
Thank you for listening, and we will speak to you next week with our special guest, Carly.
Cheers all.
Cheers all.